I'm hanging in there. It's been a rough day. But
Rougher than usual, I should
yeah,
say. It's horrible.
Greed is what's wrong with sports today.
What up, and welcome back to another episode of the Married to Sports Podcast. With me, as always, I have Corey and Hot Rod. What's up, guys? Rod, how you feeling, man?
I'm hanging in there. It's been a rough day. But
I was going to say, you do look a little rough.
I am.
Rougher than usual, I should say.
Well,
Well, when you get that mohawk, though, buddy, the hair won't be so bad.
No.
Guys, this is my favorite time of year.
I got no.
My absolute favorite time of year.
Because you're getting ready to start your football, and the end of football season's coming. And
Pee-wee is wrapping up. We are into the bowl games at this point.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm gonna watch the Texas-Michigan game. I think I'm gonna boycott it. Because I don't think Michigan's gonna bring everybody that they should be bringing. I don't think that Texas should be playing the guys that they are going to be playing. I'm really out on all these bowls. Basically, if you're not playing for anything in particular, then what are you playing for?
You know what?
Yeah, they're not.
Corey and I
They're
are
not
both
playing
50. You're 40. I'm going to say this. I remember growing up where everything was even in the bowls. It was some of the best matchups. You woke up, got excited about. Today's product, you know what? Honestly, the venues, other than Yankee Stadium, Fenway Park, and some of these big time things that people don't get to see, they don't fill up.
No, they don't. These bowl games, what they've done nowadays to these bowl games is, I honestly will tell you, I enjoyed waking up on New Year's Day, watching the Rose Bowl parade, and then having bowl games all day on New Year's Day.
Exactly. Now they spread them out so that you don't remember which is which.
Yeah, and then, the things with what they've done with the transfer portal, players are opting out because they're going to get in the transfer portal. Then you've got coaches leaving, so, not everybody's like Ole Miss, obviously.
To the coaches leaving, here's what we need to do. I don't care if you're fired in season and you take another job because you are unemployed at that point. Let's go there.
Yeah.
Okay? But these coaches that have jobs, all right, that want to transfer, you cannot talk to them to the end of the season.
Well, no, here's my thing. I like that, but here's my thing. If what they need to do is they need to do just like the NFL. You cannot talk to a coach until the end of the season. The end of the season is not the end of the regular season. The end of the season is the championship game. If a team is eliminated before the championship game, obviously you can talk to those coaches.
Right. And something else I would love to see implemented? I'd love to see implemented that the recruiting schedule, like the early signing period, and the February period get pushed back to March.
Yeah.
Or to give you time to get new coaches and to get settled the transfer portal.
Well, you don't see, you see college basketball players transferring left and right, but you never see them transferring before the NIT or before the NCAA tournament.
Exactly.
You never hear about that.
But
college football, you hear they're always transferring before bowl games, and they're going pro. So, I'm not going to show up to the bowl game. I don't care about my team anymore, and that's something they've got to change. And we can sit here and bitch and moan and groan about it, but
something to that transfer portal. Yeah, you look at Clemson. Clemson had to go out field a whole new roster for this year because it was senior laden. We had one or two juniors. They were able to field the team with the transfer portal and recruiting signing period within a month and a half, 2 months.
Yep.
Why can't we do the same thing in the
rest of the time, people? I know.
Rest of the sports.
I know. That's what I'm saying. College basketball does what it's, how it's right on that. But, even college baseball, they have to wait till the end of the year. then stop these college football players from just because the portal is going to open up in January. Okay, it opens up in January. You should not be allowed to, if your team's still playing, whether it be a bowl game or in the playoffs, you shouldn't be able to announce you're going to the portal and you should have to play it out your whole season.
Exactly.
Or, you know what, if they decide not to, say you got a player, you don't see it so much in the playoffs, but just say they got a bowl game and you decide to stop because you're going to transfer, then for whatever team you play for.
I like that. But, with the money now, here's the thing. The NIL should be, if you take that NIL because you're a great athlete, you should have to stay to any school 2 years. It's a 2 year
Yeah.
guarantee. The third year, you can transfer or go pro. At least you,
Yep.
or if you decide, hey, I'm going to be a 4 year athlete, then by all means, you can negotiate that 4 year deal.
Yep.
And also, the college scholarship doesn't go away, but all the living and eating expenses
Yep.
are paid through the NIL.
Yep.
That's how you
I agree.
fix it.
I agree. You know that. So that's the bad part.
So,
But that's the biggest part. I mean, so I could go back and forth. We could go back and forth. We have been going back and forth all year about this. The sad, the people that really love college football are the ones that suffer. The players, the coaches, they're not suffering. It's the fans, it's the students.
yeah,
So I mean, if the NCAA is happy with it, you know what? Whatever. But they're going to end up losing fans, just like in other sports.
you
So
you used to coach, so I'm gonna ask you this, okay?
okay.
Why, if you're an NFL coach, okay, why do you not set a NFL type of playbook? And because now we're adapting to the college game in the NFL,
It,
and it's
it,
ugly.
well, it is. But here's the thing. I mean, every coach has their tree that they come off of. You remember, we're finally getting out of this Bill Walsh tree.
Yeah,
Holmgren and all them. I mean, that's what happens. I mean, and a lot of the coaching tree is Saban. You see a lot of Saban. In the NFL, you've seen a lot of Tomlin. You've seen a lot of these coordinators. They're wanting to reinvent the wheel, so they're going to try whatever they think is going to work
speaking of,
instead of making it to
yeah,
what your team is. You should adapt. As a head coach, you should adapt. You should be able to adapt. If you can't adapt, you shouldn't be a head coach. And we see that with a lot of the coordinators that become head coaches. Chip Kelly is a perfect example.
who else is a perfect example? Dabble Sweeney. I hate to say it,
Yeah.
but he's not.
Well, you know what? He's Saban. He ran Saban when Saban first came in. That's when he was with him. Had his system. And, good coaches like Dabo, they don't have to change their system. They just got to find the right players for their system.
Exactly. But it's been an ugly 2 years. I'm hoping for a turnaround.
You have that. I mean, just think 2 years, no big deal. You look at teams like Illinois. I mean, they would love to have the seasons that Clemson, even the last 2 years, would have some of these teams. You know,
You're right.
but they're not getting there. They're not getting. I don't. It'll get better. Hopefully, they always say it gets worse before it gets better. So
And I was reading something because Clemson fired Garrett Riley and Mickey Khan.
yeah,
Oh, and Brandon would be excited about this because he's been arguing for it. Guess who is we're looking at to be our next offensive coordinator?
who?
Todd Monken, the Baltimore Ravens.
You know what though? If I'm not mistaken, didn't Munkin coach at Army and they did decent with him?
He went to Georgia as an OC. I forget if he coached at Army or not. I think he had a brother named Jeff,
Okay, that might be
and
it.
I think
Okay,
Jeff was at Army. Don't hold me to that, but
Yeah. I mean, he might do better in college.
he might be.
You know, that's the thing. He might be better in
And
college.
when
And, you know,
Georgia was back to back in 22, 23, or whatever it was, he was the OC then.
well, the thing is Clemson has always done better with the pocket passer. And, I think Monken wouldn't be too bad for him because he had to adjust to Lamar Jackson,
Yeah. No, and see, it
and
should be the other way around. Lamar
yes, it
Jackson
should
should
because,
have adapted to Todd Monken. But, we are on the subject of Lamar Jackson. If
yeah,
he were to opt out or get cut, his next pay grade is around 75 million a year.
yeah.
Is he worth that?
Are any of the quarterbacks worth what they get paid,
Not
really?
really, no.
That's the thing. I look at, I mean, is even the best baseball player in the world is,
Shohei Otani right now.
Atani is he Atani worth what he gets paid?
No, but there again, okay, baseball has no
I know.
salary cap compared to
I'm just
football.
saying though, any of them, these guys are making these guys are these guys are making more money than I go back and say it, the president,
Yeah,
teachers, um,
definitely
medical
teachers.
staff, yeah, medical staff, nurses. Um, they make more than our police officers, our correction officers, and okay to play a game, but yet they're like, pay us what we're worth. Really?
And see,
You're worth that much money just because you play a sport?
now I can see Brandon's point. Pay me what you're worth. Okay, I get that from the career end and injury side. Okay,
Yeah,
but also you gotta look at what does, and I'm gonna bring in Latrell Sprewell here. What does it really cost to feed your family? Or
exactly. What's it cost to? Yeah, exactly. You know,
to use his word.
Delonte West. Hey, look at Delonte
Yeah.
West. He's homeless now because he made all that money and he took care of his family, like his extended family, not just his family, but he took care of his extended family. And then the other people out there, people got to realize, I understand that they get, you know, you're telling me that these guys can't live off of just say 5 million a year
Right.
when we're sitting here living off of 50,000 a year or 75,000 a year.
Or 35 if you're lucky.
Yeah, I'm just saying though, we make it. We might not have the best cars or the best, or the most extravagant house, or you know, uh, like what's his face got in trouble, uh, Diggs in New
Yeah.
England, you know, and the way it came out is it was against it was a chef that he would pretty much the way it explains it, it's a live-in chef. Really? You need a live-in chef? I mean, no, I'm serious. I mean,
I don't
stuff
get
like
it.
that. It's
I mean, hey,
you can't learn how to cook. I mean,
you know, I watch some of these videos on TikTok about private people paying for and all. The
yeah,
rich class. I mean, they're
yep,
30-second shorts, don't get me wrong. But
yep.
to hear some of these people talk is very, I'll say bougie, but very uppity up to the
More
point.
than what they need.
Yeah.
Extravagant.
And it's ridiculous.
Yeah,
And some of these
yeah.
flights, like there was one the NBA player needed one from Milwaukee to New York or wherever it was. And because he hurt his back, so he wanted the bed to be able to stretch out and whatever. But
Yeah,
even so, that was still minimum $35,000.
yeah. That's what I'm saying. They're
If you got a,
it,
if you got an injury like that, then sit out, stay
yep.
home, heal it, and save that money. I get you want to
Mm-hmm.
be with the team and all, but at what cost do you really cause yourself more injury?
Not just that. I mean, the money. I mean, you're spending money for nothing. You're spending money unnecessarily. These players nowadays, that's their biggest problem. They spend money unnecessarily.
And you know what? I've brought up on here before, but my friend Norman Hand from high school,
Yeah.
you know what?
He had so many hands out that he couldn't help himself.
Exactly. And it ended up costing his life at the age of 36, 37,
Yeah.
because he didn't
Yep.
have money to pay for a heart medicine. It's
Yeah.
And that's what's
It's
wrong.
horrible.
Greed is what's wrong with sports today.
It is. There's a lot of greed. So,
It's funny because people
well,
ask me because I had an opportunity to coach college. I coached. It was fun. I'm not gonna sit here and tell you I didn't enjoy it. I did, but I don't enjoy it as much as I enjoyed coaching the women's. Having that clean slate of nobody else's problems but the ones I created. Having these women show up knowing that they're not going to make very much money, that they're still having to work these other jobs, and they're still showing up to practice. They're still showing up to workouts. They're still showing up to their jobs. They're not calling out of practice. They're not calling out of work. They're still traveling. They're doing everything that the Dallas Cowboys are doing except for making the money the Dallas Cowboys are making
And you
no,
know
they're
what?
doing something else the
for the love
Dallas
of the
Cowboys
game.
aren't doing.
It's the love of
Yeah,
the
they're doing
game.
something else.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're doing something else the Cowboys aren't doing.
Winning
There's not a single. Well, there might be some of the little paid, but most of those aren't working a job. Also,
that and we win. We won national titles in the last 30 years. In fact,
30 years.
we
That's
won
what we were just.
7 of the last 9 years.
That's something we were just talking about, Brandon. Is talking about how these athletes become. They spend all their money in this. Okay, not to get in the subject of what happened, but Stefan Diggs. The report says that he got into it with his live-in chef. Live-in chef. Tell me that's not going to. Just saying that is expensive.
Well, I mean, Tom Brady kind of set the precedent when he said he spends over $2 million a year on his body, right? And what he eats and everything else, paying the chef and all this other stuff.
Yeah.
So, like, I understand them doing that. I understand Stephon Diggs doing that. I understand why you got to put your hands on her.
Yep.
And if you are having a problem with her, why keep her around? Why not say, hey, you got to go for a while? Whether it's 30 minutes, 3 hours, or a day, 2 days,
Yeah.
whatever. I'm making a point. Why
I've been
put
fired from a
yourself
lot
in
of
Yeah.
that
It's
jobs.
situation?
yeah. Well, here's the thing. Again, it goes back to DK Metcalf. It's these pro athletes putting themselves in the situation that causes these incidents. Whether they're guilty or not, or whether somebody said something they shouldn't have said out of pocket to them or not, the best way to stay out of those situations is don't have those situations.
Hold on now. Hold on now. Because you've been in some situations in your life where you've thrown down and you're like, man, I probably could have, should have, maybe at some point walked away from that situation. However,
It's true.
I don't care what anybody says. At the end of the day, I'm not going to stand before God as a husband. I'm not going to stand before him as a coach. I'm not going to stand before him as a dad, uncle, brother. I'm going to stand before God as a man. And so when you're calling me outside my name and we're saying the things that he allegedly said to DK, he's lucky that's all he got was a push to the face because really I'd have drug him off that rail and beat the shit out of him.
Well, you know what? In truth, yes. But here's the thing, though,
I mean,
Brandon.
I understand DK is an athlete and is making a lot of money, but
No,
he should not have ever
no,
been put
no.
in that situation to begin with.
No, he shouldn't. Number one. And what I'm saying is them putting themselves in a situation if he would have stayed on his sideline by the teammates and stuff, no offense, just like if Stefan Diggs didn't have a
Living,
live in
yeah.
chef, they just put themselves in the situations because the world we live in now, we all see it. Greed doesn't just come with the athletes, greed's with the fans too. They want to find an easy way to make money or get free tickets or whatever it is. off these athletes.
Yeah.
And you know what? To that point, this is where I differ from Brandon. This guy, if he had been targeting DK and he went to the NFL, said, hey, or security at the game said, hey, I want this guy removed, that's on, I'm not going to say NFL, but that's on the team's security other to not do their job. So ultimately, my question is, does the NFL hire the security for each stadium, or is it the stadium owner slash?
No,
Well,
it'd
the thing
be on
you
the
got to
teams themselves.
yeah. But here's the thing: when you talk about that, though, Rod, at most events, games, whatever it may be, most of the people, the security that's working, are usually off-duty police officers, volunteers, or whatever that are doing that on their own time. It's not like they hire just like security personnel, like say Madonna has her own security detail that she goes around with.
Right.
They don't do that at NFL games. These guys they're retired or they're off work that day.
Well,
They're the come
They're
and go
volunteer.
like us.
I know the
Just
Oklahoma City. I know
Yeah,
the Oklahoma City Thunder. They legit hire a security company, and
yeah,
they send certain people to every game, and they'll have a security officer on everywhere that a person can walk in. So there will be one
yeah,
like if you don't have the arena in a circle, right? There you have
yeah.
several doors that you can go in, upper
Mm-hmm.
levels, bottom levels, right? Each security officer is at each one of those that fans go in and enter the stadium. There's security guards everywhere.
Yeah,
Like you cannot walk from one end of the building to the other end of the building without passing at least 20 security guards. You can't.
yeah. Well, and here's the thing: you got 20, just say 20 to 50 security guards. What's the Thunder Stadium seat?
It's
like
actually not that big.
15,000.
I think the Paycom Arena,
Yeah,
if
I
I'm
know
not
it's not
mistaken,
that
I think it's
big.
like 20,000.
I was going to say
So
15.
even at that, I'm just saying, but in an NFL game, there's usually a lot more, obviously. So I mean, security's it's I don't blame security on that one. Now remember when the tennis player got knifed that one time? Now that I do blame security because there's two players and you got to watch the court. There should have been security right there.
Um,
So
Paycom Center has for basketball 18,200.
yeah. So
I mean, it's still pretty good size.
yeah. So you're looking at that. That the staff for security compared to the fans. Obviously, the fans outnumber the staff, but
Yeah, it's still 50 to 1.
it's also yeah, it's also on those NBA players or football players, whatever it may be, to realize. I know that people say stuff, will do stuff to try to get money, free tickets. Sometimes you gotta just turn the other cheek once. There's been plenty of times I would love to punch somebody,
Oh, I agree.
but I ain't giving somebody money, my hard earned money, just because they want to be an a hole.
But at
I
the
think
same
that's the thing
time,
that irritates me the most about what happened at the Lions game is they gave him tickets. Like he gets to watch the
Yeah,
rest of the home games there at the
yep,
stadium, and if I'm not mistaken, I think he gets a box.
yeah.
and
That's
and all
ridiculous.
next year supposedly.
Yeah, and then next year he gets.
He should have been banned.
Yeah,
Period.
he should not be
But
allowed in the games. Period.
I do want to
Yeah,
give the Steelers their credit because when DK got in trouble, according to Jay Glazer, Pittsburgh was at when DK got suspended. They could have the Steelers could have voided all his guaranteed money, and at this point they're not doing it. So kudos to them for understanding the situation and not cutting their throat because DK, whether he drops balls or not, we've seen more drops by more receivers this year than we can count. But DK's still going to be a legit receiver for a few more years at least.
yeah. Well, DK taking his money, whatever. They suspended him 2 games. Taking his money, I'm glad that they didn't. Don't get me wrong, because he shouldn't lose money. He should not be losing money. He shouldn't have got suspended, in my opinion. if the Lions turn around and gave that guy free box seats or
Yeah.
whatever they
or
got
at
him.
least
That right there is wrong.
for at least the next
So
10 games.
so what? So Steelers go play in Pitt or in Detroit next year. Maybe a Steeler fan goes Jamison Williams because usually he's the hothead right there on that
Or
team.
Amon Ra,
Maybe I
or
don't know.
any receiver for that matter.
Yeah, and then the Steelers turn around. Do you think the Lions would look at that and be like, "Oh, good job"? No, they'd be like, "You guys are asses."
So here's what really bothers me with this whole DK situation, and this is actually moving away from the punch, away from the fan. Is now you have a bunch of guys that got beat by Cleveland because you have
Yep.
nobody that can beat man coverage. Like you realize
Yep.
that those last few drives, they did nothing but man coverage. There was nothing to guess on what coverage they were going to be in. It was zero coverage. It was man across the board.
Yep.
You don't have
And
guys
they
to
didn't have
beat man coverage. What are you going to do?
throw out three tight ends and you not
Can't.
and
You
clog
only
up
got
the
two. One of them
whole
left with a broken
middle.
arm.
No, yeah, clog. They still clog the middle.
See,
Yeah.
this is what I was trying to get into yesterday because everybody wants to blame Aaron Rodgers about the Steelers' demise, and it's not Aaron Rodgers. At the beginning of the season,
No.
the defense wasn't holding up their end. Aaron Rodgers
Yeah.
had 3 games where you could put it on him, and then you've had an offensive blunder, right? MVS jumps too early for a pass, which should have been called pass interference, but let's not put it in the ref's hands, okay? You jump too early
Yep.
because you don't know how to play football, apparently. You're a professional football player, and you don't know when to time a jump. That's crazy to me.
Yeah, and here's the thing, and I said this when they were going through their slump. If you look at Aaron Rodgers' career, all through Green Bay, can you name on one hand the tight ends because he didn't have more than
Michael Finley for most of it.
Yeah.
exactly. And the thing is they might put a fullback in, and they might have went two tight ends once in a great while. Aaron Rodgers, if you look at it, most of the time it was
Jermichael Finley and
one
Patrick
tight end.
Rogers.
It was one tight end, three receivers, running back.
And you had Devontae Adams.
Well, I'm just saying, just the personnel, real quick, Rod. I know that he had the receiver. I'm just
Yeah.
saying, the personnel.
Well, they ran a lot of 12 personnel
His
up
whole
in
career.
Green Bay. That's why I thought they got Johnny Smith. I thought they were going to use Pat Fryermuth and Johnny Smith. Kid, either way, I thought you were going to put him
Yeah.
in 12 personnel like he was familiar with in Green Bay.
Yeah, but they didn't.
No.
They have three tight ends in that damn game
You're,
half the time.
you're right. And that was my point, Corey. That's why I brought Devontae Adams, because he really had no more than one receiver and two tight ends besides the running back. I'm just
Hold
making a
up.
point.
No, we're not going to do that. We're not going to do that. No.
Why?
You're not going to discredit. You're not going to discredit James Jones. You're not going to discredit Jordy Nelson. You're not going to discredit. Huh?
All right.
No, I think he's going with the Steeler ones this year. Is what it is,
I'm saying.
because you have the one wide receiver being DK, and here's the
This
thing
year,
that most
yeah.
people forget about.
You're talking
Yeah,
like that's
that's
all he
what
had
he's
his
going
whole
at.
career, and he's had a whole.
No,
No,
They were
in
loaded.
Pittsburgh.
No.
Greg
In
Jennings.
Pittsburgh. Yeah,
No, I can
he
keep
had
naming
receivers
receivers in
in
Green
Green
Bay.
Bay. If you look at the last two places he's played, the Jets and Pittsburgh, he has not had the weapons, and and I'm not going to say they were all pro weapons in Green Bay all the time, but they were still the system fit no matter what. The system fit because even in California, at the University of California, he didn't run three damn tight
Right.
ends.
But
That's what I was saying. I mean, I know Jordan Nelson and all, but going back to what I was saying,
now this
later
year,
in his career when these guys retired, is what I was saying. He Green Bay did not replace him with elite receivers.
They didn't have to what the elite needed,
Yeah.
and that's the thing. Pittsburgh doesn't have what they need. They don't have the players besides DK, and I mean, I'm not even trying to say that the other receivers are worthless. I'm not, but the system that what's his face has put Aaron Rodgers in has handcuffed him, because I know you can't run a 2-minute offense all game long. Okay, I understand that because you'll get tired. But the thing is Look at the difference when they run that 2 minute offense. That offense clicks. They don't have three tight ends out there. Rodgers doesn't just throw to DK. There's no separation. Those tight ends all pretty much run the same routes,
I mean, you got Pat
and that's
Fryermuth.
easy for
You got
easy.
Pat Fryermuth dropping balls. You got Calvin Austin the third dropping
Yeah,
balls. You got MVS dropping balls. Like,
well, yeah. There's a lot of things that go into it. I'm just saying that offensive scheme, until they get into that 2 minute offense, is not Aaron Rodgers
and you
friendly.
know what's
We
crazy?
see,
You got one of the best receivers to ever do it, sitting over there. Or one of the best slot receivers to ever do it, sitting over there on your bench.
yeah, and he sits on your bench because you have three damn tight ends.
Adam Thielen is probably the
It's
best
just
receiver in that room.
He is,
hands wise, yeah,
and I think the only reason they moved on from him in Carolina is they wanted to get some of the
Adam
younger guys.
Thielen,
they
this is
want to
Adam
get you.
Thielen's last year. Adam Thielen is going to retire. He wanted to retire in Vikings by saying, "Hey, we'll let you go retire in Minnesota." He just
Yeah,
couldn't. He just
Minnesota
couldn't
did not
play in
do him right.
Minnesota.
Yeah, he couldn't break the three. He Naylor, Addison, or
I mean, you're
Jefferson.
not
I mean,
better than
he's not
you're
going
not
to.
better than Addison. You're not better than Naylor. You're not better than Jet. You're not
Yeah,
better than Jettis.
yeah.
What are you doing?
But you are better than Pittsburgh's three tight ends.
You're better than Pittsburgh's three tight ends and the other two receivers. And to be honest with you, I'm not
Yeah,
100% sure that DK is better than Adam Thielen. I think
yeah,
I think DK is a better X than Adam Thielen could be because I don't think Adam Thielen can play
yes,
the X.
no,
But you
No,
put Adam Thielen in the slot. I'm going to take Adam Thielen in the slot over DK in
yep.
the
one hundred
slot.
percent.
And the people what people forget about DK is, okay, they go back DK they go back to his speed. Okay, DK running down the guy that intercepted the ball that running from the end zone. Yes, he's fast, but fast only gets you so far. You got to be able to run the route right. You've got to be able to do other things. And he has gotten older. He might have slowed down just a tad. Maybe not much, but he slowed down a tad.
Well,
So
if I'm not mistaken, well, let me try that again. Holy crap! Sound like Porky Pig over here. That's all, folks. Uh,
that's all, folks.
Adam Thielen, if I'm not mistaken, got hurt in Minnesota towards ACL. Right? That's why they got off of him to
I,
begin with.
I,
I believe so.
yeah, I think so. I think so. It was an injury or something.
I might be 100% wrong. You can double check me, but I think he tore an ACL and they put him on IR in Minnesota. He was up. He's getting up there in age. They didn't want to extend him. They would let him go to Carolina. Carolina cut him. Now he's over at Pittsburgh, free agency, and he is not he has not gotten that step back. Yeah, he has lost a step, but even though he's lost a
Yeah,
step, he's still better than what you got, and he's still better than most of the DBs out there. They might just be a little
yep,
faster, but he's still better. He's still getting separation. Now, here's where I will put blame on Aaron Rodgers, and you can go back and you can watch the film on every game that he's played. Aaron Rodgers is not making the right reads. That I will put on Aaron Rodgers.
yeah, yeah. But like I said again, the reads. It's the reads he's not used to, and that's the thing. I mean, he's played in the league over 20 years. It's just like us in a job. We get where we know what we're doing, and then you get a new boss that comes in and tries to change stuff. It's a little discouraging, to say the least.
I would agree with you if
But
it wasn't one read options that he's missing.
I understand that one too. I do.
Like, it's
I
literally a
understand that's
one
it.
read option. Like,
I
we
do.
break down in women's professional football, right? We try not to overload. We try not to overload the quarterback, right? The quarterback has a
Yeah,
lot of
that's okay.
information to take in, especially at one time, right? We don't want to
Yep.
give you a whole bunch of stuff for you to remember. We don't want you thinking, right? We want you to see and do. That's what they need to do with Aaron Rodgers. They need you to see and do. Forget what you know. Don't forget what you know. Set aside what
But
you know
Yeah.
retain your wild side, let's
and
call
take
it.
what the defense gives you.
Yeah.
I don't
Let's call
need
it.
that
Yeah.
four-time MVP. I
Yeah. You just
need
need a
a resemblance of what that four-time MVP used to be. But the defense has got to step up and do their part. Everybody's got to do their part. The problem is, 3/4 of the season, we've watched Aaron Rodgers do his part and the rest of the team not do theirs. Whether it's receivers, defense, whatever, special teams. Fuck, Boswell missed a kick the other day, right? If Boswell doesn't miss that
Yep.
kick, they kick the field goal, we go into overtime.
That's
No, it
true.
wasn't. It was 16. It was 13. It was 13. Never mind. It was 13. It would have been 13-12.
Yeah.
Take that back.
But we've been on this Pittsburgh train a while. Let's get off of it a minute. Talk about last night's game. You know what? This is twice now Atlanta has beat teams they shouldn't have beat in Buffalo Bills and the Rams. And right now the Rams are in jeopardy of losing the first seed overall.
They lost the first seed. That's
Well,
over.
They have lost the first seed. Thank you.
But they've clinched the playoff
here's
spot.
the thing, though.
I don't think they were worried about the
Yeah.
one.
Here's here's the problem with this, with the with the Falcons. They're doing what they should have been doing at the beginning of the season.
That's it.
You know, they actually are feeding Bijan and working off of Bijan with the receivers and their tight ends. You know, just like the other day with Henry, 36 runs. Yeah, maybe you can't do that all year long, but these teams are starting to remember, hey, wait a minute. If we get the run going, it opens up the pass game and not vice versa. You know, you want those safeties to stay down, be coming down, so you can go over the top and stuff like that. And if you start off throwing and you have no running game, well, you got nobody over the top because the safeties can just sit out there and have fun with you. And when you have a running back like Bijan, you need to be using him.
You
You
know,
know,
one thing that Atlanta didn't do that we've seen the Ravens do all year, they didn't stop feeding Bijan. He had over
Yep.
200 yards of scrimmage last night.
Yep.
Hook 'em horns. Go Texas.
Yeah.
Dijon, let's go. Anyway,
Yeah.
how many times have we
And
seen
if it
the
wasn't
Ravens
feeding
put
him,
Henry on the bench in the fourth quarter, not let him touch the ball
yeah. You know,
this year?
I'm sorry. Algier is a good running back for Atlanta. But if you get Bijan going, you got to keep feeding him. In Baltimore, if you've got Derrick Henry, I'm going to feed him before I feed his back.
Here's where I'm going to disagree with you a little bit, Corey. Last night, they did not utilize Algier enough, and I know Bijan was doing a great job. But if you, a couple other times, especially later in the game when they were driving, you put Algier in there, he's going to cut that defense. Then you put Bijan right back in there, and he's going to cut you even more. There was a couple times
Yeah.
I would have liked to have
Yeah.
seen them use Algier and light the load for
Yeah.
Bijan so Bijan could rack up more yards.
well,
Yeah.
Bijan had 229 yards last night to be
He could have had
exact.
500.
He could have. I mean, you
If
know
they'd
what?
utilized Algier a little bit more, he would have probably had 300.
You talk about the Rams being a complete team. You know,
When they're healthy, yeah.
yeah, but are they truly healthy going into the playoffs? To
No,
be your,
Devontae's hurt.
so
Listen, my premise to the Rams going to the Super Bowl was Puka Nacua and Devontae Adams.
Yeah. Nakua's he's doing
Now
it.
Nacua is doing.
Devontae's hurt.
Now ever since they got Puka Nacua, he took over what Cooper Kupp did, right?
right.
Devontae Adams was supposed to be Puka Nacua and Cooper Kupp 3.0. You got a number one receiver. You have probably the best receiver in the league right now, maybe the number two, right? And I know when we look at receivers right now, we're talking. I'm probably taking Jettis or Jamar Chase over anybody in the field right now. Okay.
Yeah.
However, stats don't lie, and it's between Jackson Smith and Puka Nacua, right?
Oh yes.
Devontae
yes.
Adams is arguably a top 5 receiver to this day, even in his old age.
So
He's still a top 5. So you have
Hold
two
on,
top
Rod.
5 receivers on one squad.
I got one play in particular last night that would have changed the game. At least tied it up if the Rams would not have went and won it. We all saw that deep pass when Adewale got behind the defense, right? It hit him in the hands and he didn't catch it. If Vontae Adams is in there, that ball's going to him and he's going to catch that
Yeah.
ball.
100,
That shows how important he is for the Rams.
100%.
So, I mean, that play right there kind of shows you what it means to have Devontae on the field. I mean, Nakua was doing his thing. Don't get me wrong. But that one play right there that Adewale missed,
That will, yeah.
Atwell,
Oh well, yeah.
Adams would have caught it. Yeah, Adams would have caught it.
You know,
And that right there, they would have tied it
I
up.
don't know
At least.
how little Jordan Whittington, or sorry, little Jordan Humphreys. They have Jordan. They have Whittington. Whittington played for us, UT, and he did a great job. He was a really good possession guy. We had Devin Duvernay as well, who was a really good position guy. Isaiah Bond was another guy that was a really good possession guy. But Whittington, in my opinion, is a better receiver than Tutu Atwell. How in the world Whittington has not replaced Atwell is beyond me. I do not understand this at all. Obviously, I
Yeah.
don't see him in practice. I don't get to see what happens. But for him to not emerge and not take Atwell's spot after I'm watching Atwell drop the ball, I really want to know what Jordan's doing. What Whittington is doing in practice.
Yeah. Well, that's like Duvernay the other night in the Bears game. If Williams would have hit him on that one of those last plays, it was a
Oh
touchdown.
my goodness! When he threw it short, if
Yep.
he hits Devin Duvernay with Devin Duvernay speed, he's gone. There's nobody near
Yeah,
him.
it
He's
was a touchdown.
25 yards from the
Yeah.
end zone. He's gonna beat everybody
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
They win that game.
I mean, that was a massive thing when that. I mean, that was can't give it. I mean, you got to give it to the defense because the Niners defense because was throwing off balance throwing it, but still they got lucky right there.
Back to Atlanta real quick. If you're Atlanta, what do? You sign Kirk Cousins to a big contract. You bench Penix gets hurt. You went back to Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins has been winning you games. What do you do here?
I
Have a
mean,
quarterback battle, I think next year.
you ride Cousins for a little bit, and I think you move on from Penix because it's in question if he can really stay healthy. And what do we always say? The best of availability is what?
Availability.
Availability.
Ability.
So you know what? You can go out and reset your quarterback room, trade Penix, even if you take a loss on where you drafted him, but you can still get a young quarterback to come in and really develop.
They could do that, or they could, just next year. I think it's going to be a quarterback battle. There's some things that Atlanta needs to do. I mean, they need to keep fortifying that offense. I mean, get another. They need another receiver in there.
I
I
don't.
think.
I don't think they need a receiver.
You don't think they need
No.
one more?
I mean,
Because Pitts gets. It seems like Pitts gets hurt a
you
lot.
got Sills, you got Pitts, you got
Mooney and Drake
Mooney
London.
and Drake London. I
And Drake
mean,
London.
Mooney has been the one that we talked about dropping passes a lot. But last night he came up with some big catches.
You put Mooney in a good situation, and Mooney will perform. But you got to put him in a good situation. The thing that's been irritating me is we keep talking about Kyle Pitts and how he's a terrible receiver. I'm not talking about how he's a terrible receiver.
Well, no, I never
keep
said he's a bad
hearing
receiver.
people talk about how Kyle Pitts is a terrible receiver. Get him the freaking ball.
Well,
If
yeah.
you notice, when he's got targets and he has catches, he has yards and touchdowns. He has yak. He has all of that. Kyle Pitts
The only bad,
could be better than Travis Kelce if they would utilize him.
yeah, and he's got to stay on the field.
Exactly.
Now he does got.
And you know what?
Now he
Unfortunately.
has been hurt a little bit. I'm not gonna say there and say he's not been hit with the injury a little
Yeah.
bit. But he's not been.
But you're
he's
right
not
when
been
you
like
say-
plague ridden, right? So
Yeah,
get
no.
him the ball for $10 million. I'm re-signing Kirk contract. I'm gonna pick him up. I've got an option this year and next year for him. It's gonna cost me $10 million guaranteed. I'm gonna take that. If I'm the Falcons, I'm gonna keep him on my roster. He's gonna be my starter. I'm not touching the roster.
Yeah,
I might add a few defensive
yeah.
pieces.
Now, defense, they still need work, but the defense did step up last night against the Rams.
Their defensive line's got yeah,
The defense, they
And
need some pieces.
they
yeah,
addressed the defensive line last draft by Pierce Jr., and they took somebody else. I forget their.
yeah. I know. I'm
They're
just
getting
saying, like
hot late.
they need
It's
some.
too late this year. But why
Yeah,
not rebuild off of why not build off of what you're building on?
Exactly.
Instead of tearing
But
the
do
whole
what.
thing down and starting over again. Because here's the thing. We all talked about Raheem Morris, right? And I said I wouldn't talk about it on TikTok. We're not on TikTok. We're on podcast. So let's be real. Because of the rules of having the minority coaches and everything, right? They're gonna let Raheem Morris
Mm-hmm.
one more year. Next year, I think, is the make or
They
break
should.
for Raheem Morris. Raheem Morris has done every. I like Raheem Morris as a coach. Okay, I do like him as a coach. Now he's not a winner at all. He's not. He's not won anywhere he's
No,
been. However,
he has set up the foundation to
what
win.
he has
exactly.
shown me this year and how he's kind of retooled and rebuilt, I ride with him one more year, and I build off of what I've built this year.
And you know what? You say that Raheem Morris was actually fired in Tampa Bay after. Help me out, Corey. What was it? 1 year?
I think it was two or
It
three.
wasn't very long. It
He
might
wasn't
have
there
been
very
2 or 3.
long.
Yeah,
Two
it
or three
wasn't very
years.
long.
But you know what? Ultimately, he grew from that. I'm not saying he's a great coach, but
Yeah.
with the situation in Atlanta, not knowing how to build, he hasn't done a decent job. But I agree with you that it's going to be 1 more year. But to say that, if Todd Bowles and the Bucks lose to the Panthers this weekend, do you see Todd Bowles getting
Todd
fired?
Bowles is fired, and I
I
hate it.
could see that.
I hate it for him. I like Todd Bowles a
You
lot.
know,
Todd Bowles is going to have to get a
these
DC.
yeah, these coaches, like I said, these coaches that become head coaches from coordinator spots, like Todd Bowles is straight up defense, number one defense. But when you're a head coach, you have to be over everybody. So I don't think the head coaches should be calling the offensive plays and they shouldn't be calling the defensive plays. That's what you have coordinators for. Yes, you do. You tell them what you need to have that, and you got to have good coordinators. I mean, look at Schottenheimer this year. Shotty, has done a great job as a head coach first year, except for one thing. You have a defensive coordinator that runs zone, and almost every single player in that defensive backfield is more comfortable in man. But yet you won't play man. You only play zone.
Matt Eberflus cost us
I
this
mean,
year. Um,
yeah, and that's the thing.
hey, if
Schottenheimer would have
Shotty
made it.
doesn't get a handle on it,
Yeah. And well, we don't know if it's not that Shotty didn't get a handle on it, or if he was told not to get a handle on it. Because Eberflus was Jerry Jones's pick, and he's finally all through the year up until what 3 weeks ago, he started not being so comforting to Eberflus.
And y'all say that, and I'm gonna go here. Back in the beginning, preseason, before we got into the season, Shoddy had said that Dak Prescott has to develop more. But you know what?
He did.
Under Shoddy, Dak has played probably one of the best seasons he's played in his career. If y'all get that defense right, y'all can be
Hey,
back in the playoffs and possibly make a Super Bowl.
and you know what?
What?
I mean,
We went and got an
you got to
offensive
put guys in
coordinator
position.
that actually worked.
What?
Yeah. We we had an offense coordinator put the guys in the right
Yeah.
positions, the right plays. Something we don't have on the
Right.
defense. I don't care if it's high school, college, pros, women, men. If you as a coach know the players that you have on that team that you're going to have for that year lines up better when they play man to man, and you tune that out and just say we're running zone, That's not a good coach. Coaches adapt just like players do. Now, if there was just one player out there, like if say it was Diggs, I play better man than I do zone. Okay, that's one player, but it wasn't.
Yeah, it was a whole staff.
It's reveal. Yeah, it's bland. It's all them
Revel.
that play better man to man.
All of our guys,
So
all of our
we were
DBs play better man to man. That's what.
Donovan Wilson is not a cover safety.
No, you
Period.
put him in cover
He was
one.
never asked to be that way.
You put him in the fucking hole.
Yeah. He's never been, since he's been in Dallas, he's never been a cover safety. He's been our hitter. Him and Hooker.
That was the issue though. Hooker went out. Hooker went down.
Yeah.
So we had we
But then
had we
that,
had Wilson playing a different position, but Wilson was still out of. And I'm actually looking at
I,
Donovan Wilson for one more freaking day. But yeah, we had to move him, and no, he just couldn't do it. He just couldn't do it.
yeah.
That's not the guy.
I mean, that's the thing. That's the thing. That's where these teams are, the teams that aren't, besides injuries, don't get me wrong, injuries happen. But when you have coaches that think their way's the only way, you see why they don't succeed. Arthur Smith, Munkin, Eberflus,
And
their way. I'm sure there's more. Them are the three that come to my mind right off the bat.
Yeah,
and
I
did
don't.
you hear?
Go ahead.
I know were on the phone earlier when we were talking about this. One of the names at Clemson being targeted for offensive coordinator is Todd Monken from Baltimore Ravens.
He might make it in college.
That's what I said.
I listen. There is Arthur Smith and Todd Monken could probably call a college plays. Absolutely, I think they could probably
Yeah.
call a college offense because what they want to do is they want to run the ball. They want the quarterbacks to run the ball. They want all this weird shit to happen that you can get away with in Pee Wee football. You cannot do that in the NFL. And this is what I was going to say
Yeah.
about Matt Eberflus. You can take me back there, put me at quarterback, me personally. And if you run cover one, cover two, or cover three, I'm going to tear you apart. I know where all your soft spots are. I'm going to throw
Yeah.
timing throws, and I'm going to throw my receivers
Mm-hmm.
open. I'm going to
Yep.
pick you apart in zone. Now you play man.
Yep.
Now I have to wait on my man to beat your man. And it's
Yep.
going to make it harder for me in the NFL.
Yep.
Because now I've got brute on brute, and I have best on best.
Yep. And that's the thing. That's something he did not adjust this year, and we've seen it. Look at the yardages these people put up this year.
Even Caleb Williams had, 3 or 4 passing touchdowns?
You know what, Caleb Williams? You know what? Dallas was his breakout game for his season.
I mean, he's been doing it to
Game
everybody. It
3,
wasn't just us he did
yeah,
it to.
yeah. Game 3 was his breakout game. He broke out, and he's been doing it all year.
But then you look at Bryce Young throwing 450 yards against the Dallas Cowboys, and then what other team has he put 450 yards up against?
Atlanta Falcons.
Okay, one.
But I'm making the point.
Yeah,
I mean,
but that's
I mean,
the
you
thing,
literally just named a
we
team
don't.
that was worse than mine.
That's the point. You get
So
you get where I was going with that.
that,
There
Yeah.
was only
There's only a handful of teams that he's going to be able to do that against, and you have to do it against a bad team like mine. And we're not a bad offense, but we are a
Yeah.
bad team.
yeah. You even seen it at the towards the end of the year here. Aubrey missing a couple kicks. Maybe it's because he's kicking a lot, and
Now the two kicks that he missed, one
I
of
know,
them was not bad timing. One of them was it through the time. The whole timing was thrown off.
bad timing. Yeah,
So I'm not going to put that one on him, but
and
the other one,
it's not like either one were chip
I would
shots
say.
either.
And
They
also,
were
I'll
for
just say
50.
also, if I'm not mistaken, I think one was like a 65 yarder.
Yeah. So I mean, yeah, it wasn't like it was from chip shots.
What
But
was crazy though was
yeah,
seeing that one kicker kick from like 75 yards in warm-ups,
yeah,
and they couldn't hit a 50-yarder.
yep,
but see there again. In practice, people can kick 75 yards. In game situation, it's a lot more pressure. I mean,
Well, if you
I don't want to
understand
hear
the
it's more
kicking, though,
pressure when that's your job. Like you get paid to do
yeah.
that.
Here's the thing. Here's a perfect example. of what happens when you go. The farther you go back to kick, your trajectory is lower to start off because you want your ball to
Right.
rise and have the distance. We have that is why you see these defensive coordinator or special teams coordinator putting 6'7", 6'8", 6'9" guys, whether it be from the right hash, they put them on the left side. If it's the right hash, they put them on the right side. They put them where they can get their hands up because they know it's a lower projection. It's not that it's harder. It's just that these tall ass defensive defensive players can get up there.
Right.
So
Guys, I love this time of year. This is my favorite time of year. I mean, it is. Pee Wee's wrapping up. The men, NFL is dude. This is the last week of football. This Sunday is the last week of football. We go in the playoffs.
No
Carolina
way.
and Tampa Bay,
Oh
they're
yeah.
playing for something. The Ravens and Pittsburgh, they're playing for something. Everybody else is playing for seeding, or they're out.
And see,
yeah,
April is my saddest time of year because we get
Huh?
into Major League Baseball, college football, NFL, and college basketball has wrapped up by April. We
But then
gotta
my
wait.
season's kicking off full swing.
I'm saying as a fan, Brandon.
As a fan, you can watch women's football. What do you mean?
Yeah.
Not only
you
that,
can just get it on. Hey,
you got the
Tubi,
you got the USFL or whatever it is now.
Tubi, I know Tubi for the women.
Yeah, Tubi.
Yeah,
We're on the.
Hashtag
I
not
found it.
sponsor needs to be.
We're not gonna have any televised games this year. I'm really mad about it.
Well, I'll have to figure out
I'll
and come
send
down
y'all.
and
I'll
have it
send y'all the
televised.
ways to stream it. Like you'll be able to stream the games. But what I'm saying is like they actually have national broadcast games this year,
Yep.
and they screwed us.
Well, it doesn't surprise me.
I'm really mad about it. But it's all right. We'll go to the Natty. We'll win the Natty. We'll be in the Pro League, and then when we're instead of just playing all those teams, and we're actually in that division, and we're just going to continue to mollywop everybody there, and then they're going to have no
Yep.
choice but to televise our games. So then what? Then what?
So now,
I
let me
love it.
ask you this on the women WFA. Are y'all relegated in advance? So if you are Division Three and you win the national championship this year, would you go to D2 or
So we're in D2 now. We'll go to D1. So you start off in D3. You win a Natty in that. You go to D2. You win a Natty in that. You go to D1. Now we played in the Natty in D2. We got beat by New York. It was sad. It was devastating. It was the first loss we had in 3 years. It was my first year coaching, but it was devastating. Then
That
we
is usually the best word.
then we got beat in the playoffs because the referee moved the ball 3 feet. Actually, it was more than 3 feet. We had a tackle for loss, and they moved the ball to above where it should have been. Gave them a first down. Just crap. So that cost us, but we should have let the ball. We should have never have ever let the refs dictate the game. We should have never been in that situation to begin with. And we had a couple that literally took down our entire offense intentionally. So that was kind of sad. And then last year we sat out. So this year we got some new players. I'm really excited about it. They got a couple. I got a couple studs that are going to be all Americans. I promise.
There you go. That's all that matters.
So
Get into the playoffs.
yeah, I'm really excited. Last year we went undefeated until the playoffs. The year before we went undefeated until the Natty. So I'm really excited about what we got. I think we have a better team this year than we've ever had, and I've been on some really good teams. But the competitiveness, you know us guys when we get on that field, you know we got to be the best one.
Yes.
You know
Yep.
what I mean? Like
Yep. Yes, I
even if
do.
it's our own team, we've got to figure out how to be the best one on that field. And
Yep.
the first couple of years I was with the women, I didn't see that. I saw more of a family type, like brothers fight. You know what I mean? And so like we were family on the football field, but we weren't nice. We weren't nice family on the football field. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
We were really
exactly.
mean to each other. The women's not like that. It was different. And it's like, man, when are you going to take hold of your teammate? When are you going to push your team? We're almost done. When are we going to push? But this year, we have that. Like, there is that friendliness, but there's also that I'm better than you. And I
Yeah,
love that.
exactly.
And that's what I
Exactly.
wanted to see. And so I've got a couple girls that are new that I'll be coaching. So I've got two new players under me that I'm pretty excited.
That's okay.
Yeah, no, I'm actually really excited
We're
about it.
gonna get.
I have
Hey,
one that it would have been her second year last year, but we set out, so she was a rookie the year before. She got injured. She'll be playing under me this year, so I'm excited about her. And then, of course, I have my two good backs, EJ and Tay, that are 1,000 yard receiver or 1,000 yard rushers. Obviously, they're my workhorses. Those are the ones that I really
You
put
will
my time and effort in.
make
yeah.
sure they ride the field instead of the bench, right? They'll
Oh
be
yeah, they're
playing a lot.
yeah they play both sides of the ball. They never take a snap off. Actually,
Hey, Brandon, be ready for one of the practices. You're gonna get suited up.
no.
The wife's gonna get suited
Live will
up.
get suited up. I'm not. I'm done.
Oh, okay. Then we'll just let her beat you up without
That's
pads.
fine. I'm never padding up again. No,
Hey,
you guys saw the film. I don't. I'm good. I'm done.
hey, Ashley, if you're there, are you going to cremate him or are you going to take it easy on him?
Listen, I cannot be burned. I have to be put in the ground. I don't care what kind of box you put me in, but you got to put me in the ground.
Love it.
And now she'll have bragging rights for the rest of your life. Just remember that.
Shout out to A Train who picked me up like a teacup. That was the funniest. Did y'all see that? Did y'all watch the film on that?
Yep.
Yeah.
Did you
Yep.
see me get picked up like a teacup?
You mean picked you up one
Yes,
handed?
he did.
One
By
handed.
my arm and sat me aside
Yep.
and literally said, "Hey."
Yes, one
And
handed.
when he did it, he literally picked me up and said, "Hey, you stand here." I swear to God, I have never been more embarrassed in my life than when A Train picked me up like a teacup, sat me aside, and said, "You stand here."
I think you much rather him and drove you
Did
down.
you see me get in his face after that?
Yeah,
What I
but
said to him was, "I don't care if you whoop me. Don't you ever manhandle me again. Don't you ever pick me up like that again. You can whoop me all you want to. Don't you ever manhandle me like that again." I
uh,
said, "I'm old enough to be your dad, son."
and yeah, that's what he said. I didn't want to break nothing
That's
on you.
exactly what he said. I was trying to be nice. That kid, hey, listen, shout out to that kid. I hope he ended up making it back to D1. I know he was a bounce back. That kid was great. Really, there was times he could have crushed me, and he didn't. He literally said, "Listen, I want you to go home to your family." So it was very nice of him. Very nice of
Yep.
him. But
Hey,
anyway,
there are some respectful people out in this world. Just remember that.
Respecting their elders
yeah,
there.
there were some guys that really put a licking on me, and I actually appreciated them a little more. Look, he was 400 pounds, dude. I was glad he didn't hit me with everything he had. I was 185 playing offensive line. That should have never happened. Okay. All right, guys. Well, this episode has been brought to you by Heaven Sent Hellbent Gear. Go to hshbgear.com. 15% off promo code married. W Energy 10% off promo code married. Styles Apparel and Dugout Mugs. We appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. We'll see y'all next time. Peace.
Yeah.